For today's exercise, you're going to be doing exactly what I did. I have 3 logos here for you to pick from. We're suggesting that you pick 2 of these to recreate, but at a minimum, do 1 of them. And of course, you zoom in nice and close here. You can see that these are low resolution, not vectors. They're images, and you're going to have to recreate them. So the first one we have is Eyedropper Industries. Second one is Pathfinder.com. And the third one is the Bezier Bakery. So as you can see, each one gets a little bit more complex. So if you're not feeling too confident yet, don't feel bad about just starting with Eyedropper Industries. And if that goes well, move on to maybe the Pathfinder.com. But if you're really feeling like you got the hang of things, then go ahead and try this Bezier Bakery. That's probably going to be the most difficult. And I'd love to see you actually recreate that to be a good copy of this low-res image. Now, just like in my own logo, I am going to give you the names of the fonts used so you don't have to go digging for them. Now, in the real world, I have on many occasions had to identify fonts, and it is not a fun process, but it is something that may happen in the real world. For this assignment, I'm going to go a little bit easier on you, and these are the names of the fonts. So for Eyedropper Industries, we have Trump Soft Pro, and it's the bold italic version. Then we have Balboa, and that's the extra black version. And then Rosarian, the bold version. And remember, you can install any of these fonts just by coming up to the character palette and then saying add fonts from Typekit. You can find all 3 of those fonts on Typekit. Just search for them on the website and make sure that you sync that version of the font. You can sync the whole font if you'd rather, but make sure that you have at least these 3 versions of the fonts when you're recreating these logos. And keep in mind that some of these logos might have some custom kerning, so you might have to get in there and adjust the kerning just like I did in my lesson. And one other tip I want to give you, something that we didn't really talk about with the eyedropper tool. If you zoom in nice and close on these so you can see the pixels, take a look at maybe this line right here. You can see that it's supposed to be the same color red as the text, but even on the text, around the outside edges, we have all these other different shades of pixels. This is called anti-aliasing, and it's not important that you really understand what that means, but it's a technique for raster images to produce specific looks at a certain resolution. So looking at this at 100%, you don't see those individual different colored pixels. But if you zoom in nice and close, obviously you can see them. That becomes an issue when using the eyedropper tool. So if I were to just make a circle right here, and I'll fill it with black, get rid of the stroke, and let's say that I wanted to make it this red color. If I switch to my eyedropper and I hold shift, remember you have to hold shift when you're sampling a raster image. This is going to apply whatever you have selected or active, the fill or the stroke. If I hold shift and click on, say, this pixel right here, well, that's not the same red, is it? That's because it's literally looking at the pixel of the image that I'm hovering my eyedropper over. If I clicked on this one, it's going to get darker, but it's still not the exact red color. So you need to make sure that you select right in the middle to get that pure red color. Same thing over here. There are shades of this red because they're blending into the darker red. So you want to make sure you shift click right in the middle. All right, again, the assignment is to recreate these logos. We're suggesting that you do 2 of them, but at a minimum, do at least 1. And once you're done with them, export them as JPEGs and upload them to the homework locker so you can get a critique, and be sure that you're including your source project files, the .ai Illustrator file as well. All right, good luck.